Hi friends, Krista here. Thanks for stopping by Books and Jams. I'm so glad that you are here today. We are going to be talking about all the books that are on my possibility pile for February. I have quite a few different reasons for choosing all of the books that I have to talk to you about today. So I'm just going to jump right in and share with you what I'm thinking about and what books I'm hoping to read throughout the month of February. It is a shorter month and I do have some fun things going on. Our Booktube Besties virtual reading retreat is happening at the beginning of the month. That will be some good reading time and connecting with many of you. I'm so excited for that. And then the second week of the month, I am headed out with my cousins for a long weekend to just hang out with four of my cousins that are close to my age, and we're really excited for that. It's been a while since we've all gotten together, so I'm very excited for that weekend, but that will not be a big reading weekend. But of course I have tons of books to talk to you about today, so let me just jump right in. I will start with my Patreon book club book. I gave them 3 choices this month: an Australian historical fiction, There Was Still Love; a murder mystery that sounds like it's going to be kind of cozy, Murder at Mallowan Hall by Colleen Cambridge; and then for Black History Month, a historical fiction called Take My Hand by Dolan Perkins Valdez. And as of right now, when I'm filming this, it's super close between these 2 books. I am probably going to read both of them. As of right now, this one, Murder at Mallowan Hall, is just slightly in the lead, so this might be my book club pick for Patreon, but I have a feeling there's a big group who want to read this one too. We might just do both in February because it is pretty close. But also, I really do want to read this historical fiction set in Australia. I would love to read more Aussie literature. My friend Lee is the one who sent this to me, so I will probably read all 3 of the choices. This is the problem. Every month I choose books that I really want to read, and then I just still want to really read them. So I will probably be reading all 3 of my Patreon choices this month. My book club will be official book club will be between 2 of them. And then for my patron pick this month, I got Tales from the Cafe. I will put a picture of that here. This is the sequel to Before the Coffee Gets Cold. I forget who the author of it is. I didn't love Before the Coffee Gets Cold. I enjoyed it. And my patron friend, Deanne, who chose this, felt the same way about the first book. So we're going to buddy read the second book together. So that is on hold at my library. It should be coming in very soon. I just don't have it right now. Then just the other day, my Booktube besties, Sarah from Sarah's Nightstand, Lindsay from Lindsay's Little Library, and Amanda from The Curly Reader, as many of you know, we have a book exchange every year at Christmas time, and they each picked a book that they're very excited for me to read, and I'm putting all 3 of them on my February TBR. So I have a middle grade historical fiction, Project 1065 by Alan Gratz. So this one is a World War II historical fiction. It takes place in Nazi Germany, and this young boy from Ireland, his family had moved to Germany, and he becomes a member of Hitler Youth, but he and his parents are actually spies. He learns about a secret project that the Nazis are planning, and it just becomes very, very tense. Sounds amazing. Butterfly Yellow by Tana Lai is Amanda's pick for me. She gifted this to me. Oh yeah, this one was Lindsay's choice. Amanda chose for me Butterfly Yellow by Tana Lai. I have read a couple books by her, middle grade books. This one I believe is YA, and it takes place right after the Vietnam War and follows a brother and sister who get separated. One is able to come to the States a little before the other, but when the sister gets to the States, she really wants to track down her brother. I don't know if they get reunited or not, but I'm very interested in that, and the cover is stunning. And then Sarah picked for me My Monticello by Jocelyn Nicole Johnson, and I'm excited because this is a book of short stories, and that is one of my goals for the year, to read a ton of short stories, so I'm really excited that this is on my list for February. So there are 6 stories in here. A young woman descended from Thomas Jefferson and Sally Hemings, driven from her neighborhood by a white militia. A university professor studying racism by conducting a secret social experiment on his own son. A single mother desperate to buy her first home even as the world hurtles toward catastrophe, each fighting to survive in America. I am excited about those stories. Yeah, I think that this is going to be another great read for Black History Month, but also I really want to go to visit Monticello, and it's right here in Virginia. So many of these are going to be set right here in Virginia. So there's just many reasons why I'm very excited for this one. So hopefully I can get to all 3 of those Christmas book exchange books. Then I have 2 buddy reads I'll be doing this month. One of them is Ink and Bone by Rachel Kane. I'll be reading this with Erica Reads. We have talked about this book a lot because this has been on and off on haul piles for me. And I believe this is now a series of 4 books. I only own the first 3, and I really just love the covers of these. So I keep pulling them off the unhaul pile, mainly because they're beautiful. I have read this first one before, but I want to read through the whole series, and so I'm restarting the first one because it's been probably 5 years since I read it. So that is Ink and Bone. In this fantasy world, books are banned. There's one library, the Great Library. That's the name of the series, the Great Library. There's one library where all books are stored, but there are this rebellious group who smuggle books around, and the main character is one of those smugglers. Yeah, illegal books. Jess Brightwell believes in the value of the library, but the majority of his knowledge comes from illegal books obtained by his family, who are involved in the thriving black market. Jess has been sent to be his family's spy, but his loyalties are tested in the final months of his training to enter the library's service. So I'm really excited to dive back into this book and this series. And then I'm also going to be reading one of the books off my 12 books to read in 2023. This is 1000 White Women by Jim Fergus. So technically I don't have to spin the wheel today because I did finish Dove Keepers. But as I reorganized my shelves and was putting together my Booktube Recommends cart for this year, I found so many more books that have been here for a long time. And so I am still going to spin the wheel and choose one more of that 12 books to add to my pile for February, and we'll see if I get to it or not. But I am excited to read this one with Gloria and Lindsay, one of our subscribers. I've heard really good things about this. So this is based on an actual historical event of Medad, who travels west in 1875 and marries the chief of the Cheyenne Nation, but it's told through these fictional journal entries. I think that that's going to be fantastic. I have 2 others that I've chosen because of Chantel from Chantel Reads All Day, her reading challenge, Read Your Bookshelf challenge for the year. Her prompt for February is to read a book in a complementary color from the book you read in January. So the book that I counted for the project in January was The Dove Keepers. It was a title that started with the or a. So I counted The Dove Keepers, and this does not have very many colors on it, but I did find this brown, and here's the picture of the complementary colors through the link that she gave. It's on Canva. And I found 2 that I think fit really well. The first one is a historical fantasy called Fox by Nadine Brandes. And that blue, like this darkish blue, I think is a really good fit. This darkish blue, I think, is a really good fit. And some of these browns are the same browns from Dove Keepers. So I think these are pretty good complementary. If you look at just the blues and the browns, I think that it fits really well. And this is on my Christian fiction shelf, and it's one that I've been wanting to read for a really long time. I know there was a Christian fiction book club that read this last year, and there were some mixed feelings about it, I think. And I just am very curious what I am going to think. But I read a fantasy in January, and it was just hitting the spot for me in the winter time. So I didn't have any fantasy on this pile. I mean, Ink and Bone is kind of a fantasy as well, sort of, but I wanted to add another fantasy. So that's a possibility for February, as well as The History of Wild Places. This also has that bluish, almost teal, really dark color that really complements the brown on the Dove Keepers. So that, I think, is another option. History of Wild Places is by Shay Earnshaw, and I don't really even know what this one is about. Travis Wren has an unusual talent for locating missing people. Hired by families as a last resort, he requires only a single object to find the person who has vanished. When he takes on the case of Maggie St. James, a well-known author of dark, macabre children's books, he's led to a place many believe to be only a legend. It involves a reclusive community of like-minded people searching for a simpler way of life. And soon after he stumbles upon it, he disappears just like the person he was looking for. Okay. I just am intrigued by that. I don't want to read any more. I don't know if I'll get to it in February, but I really hope so. It feels like a good wintry read. But also, I do feel like the covers of these also kind of have that bluish, dark blue, almost teal color in it. This one particularly on the cover, and then this one in here as well. So any of those could count for my challenge for Chantel. I'm not sure which one I will actually count. When the time comes, I'll decide. Okay, and then I have my 2 wheels to spin. So the first wheel I'm going to spin is 12 books to read in 2023. I'm going to choose one more of those to add to the stack. And then I'm also going to choose my booktuber that I'm going to read like in the month of February. So this is a huge pile. I have no idea what I'm actually going to get to. But I am really excited. It went really well in January when I read like Chloe. So I'm very excited to see who I'm going to pick for the month of February. And then you'll have to wait until that vlog to see what books I read like that person. Okay, I've had to just fix up this wheel a little bit. I forgot to save it last time when I was putting the books on there. I also need to take off Dove Keepers because I've already read that one. And I'm going to take off 1000 White Women because I'm already planning to read that as a buddy read during the month of February. So that's definitely going to get read. But I do want to pick one more to add to my stack just to be the next one that I read. So let's go ahead and spin the wheel and see what we get. It is, oh, extremely loud and incredibly close. I'm going to spin again because I kind of want to save that one for closer to September. So I'm just going to spin again. This is kind of my wheel, my rules. Okay, Hotel on the Corner of Bitter and Sweet. I can do that one. So I'm going to remove it from the list. Close. There we go. Sweet. So I have Hotel on the Corner of Bitter and Sweet is now added to my stack. Okay, and now we are going to see who I'm going to read like for the month of February. I do need to take off Chloe. I forgot to save that as well. So I'm going to take off Chloe. I'm going to spin the wheel. I'm so excited for this. Who is it going to be? Keisha from A Book Like You. I'm excited. I have a feeling I'm going to add a couple spooky middle grades to my pile. If I have some. We're going to take a look at what we've got. I'm going to look at her favorites of the year, see if I have any of those. All right, fun. So I'm going to be reading like Keisha for the month of February, as well as getting to a bunch of these. Probably not all of them. There might be some other things that pop into the mix as well, but there are what, 11, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. I'm sorry about my voice right now. I don't know what's going on. There are 11 books in this stack, and we'll see which ones I get to. It's possible I could get to most of them. I do read on average, I do read from 10 to 12 books a month. So we'll see. I don't know what's going on with my voice. I should probably stop talking. So I would love to hear from you down in the comments. What do you think about any of the choices that I made for February? Let's talk about these books or anything else you want to talk about. I love talking with you in the comments. I'm so thankful that you are here. Thank you for spending some time with me today. I really appreciate you. And I look forward to talking with you in another video very soon. Hopefully when I have a better voice. Bye.